The Boston Celtics find themselves at a pivotal crossroads this offseason, a moment where strategic decisions could shape the trajectory of the franchise for years to come. Among the many rumors swirling around the team, one of the most intriguing involves a potential partnership with the Utah Jazz, a franchise currently undergoing its own transformation, but with deep ties to the Celtics organization, thanks largely to Danny Ainge, a towering figure in Boston's recent history. Ainge's move to Utah as an executive has created a unique dynamic, presenting Boston with an opportunity to leverage established relationships to facilitate trades that not only help balance the Celtics' notoriously tight salary cap situation, but also bolster their roster in meaningful ways. The financial landscape across the NBA right now is one of extreme caution and complexity. Almost every team is navigating the challenges posed by massive contracts, luxury taxes, and the limitations of the salary cap. In this environment, the Jazz stand out as one of the few teams with genuine cap flexibility, ranking near the top of the league in available space for the upcoming 2025-2026 season. This rare financial freedom puts them in a prime position to act as a trade partner, absorbing contracts and assets that other teams like Boston might need to move in order to create the flexibility required to pursue their championship aspirations. What makes the Jazz particularly attractive as a trade partner is not just their financial situation, but the familiarity and history shared between the two organizations. Danny Ainge's fingerprints are all over the Celtics' recent success. He was instrumental in assembling the core that lifted the Larry O'Brien Trophy, drafting Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, and orchestrating key trades that brought in players like Derek White and Robert Williams. Now, in Utah, Ainge carries that wealth of institutional knowledge, and his presence there means the Celtics might find a more receptive partner in negotiations, someone who understands their vision and challenges. The idea of the Jazz acting as a Celtics West isn't far-fetched. Beyond Ainge, several figures associated with the Celtics have taken roles in Utah's front office and coaching staff. Will Hardy, who was an assistant coach for Boston during their 2022 finals run, is now Utah's head coach and recently signed a major contract extension. Austin Ainge, Danny's son and a former Celtics assistant GM deeply involved in talent evaluation and draft preparation, has recently been named the Jazz's president of basketball operations. This kind of continuity and shared philosophy between the two organizations creates fertile ground for meaningful trade discussions. On the court, the Jazz roster features several players whose contracts and skill sets could complement the Celtics' needs, especially during this anticipated gap year, while Jason Tatum is sidelined. The Celtics, constrained by a handful of large contracts, could benefit greatly from acquiring expiring deals, players who provide immediate value but free up salary space by the end of next season. Among the Jazz players drawing interest is John Collins, a versatile forward who averaged around 19 points per game last season on a struggling Utah team. His contract expires after next season, making him a potentially ideal stopgap for Boston. Collins combines scoring ability, floor spacing, and rebounding in a package that could help offset the scoring deficit caused by Tatum's absence. Other Jazz players with expiring contracts and possible appeal include Colin Sexton and Jordan Clarkson. Sexton, a dynamic shot creator, fits the mold of a player who could add offensive firepower to the Celtics' rotation, while Clarkson offers scoring off the bench but may have some shot selection issues that might deter purists. Wendell Carter Jr., a player often compared to Al Horford for his style and impact, is another name linked to the Jazz who could make a seamless fit in Boston. He offers size, defense, and the kind of basketball IQ that could serve as a foundation piece going forward. Of course, the Celtics are not in a position to simply offload players like Drew Holiday or Kristaps Porzingis without expecting value. In return, both come with hefty contracts, but also have on-court worth that could entice teams looking to rebuild or add experienced pieces. The Jazz were reportedly interested in both players back in 2023, indicating at least some familiarity and potential openness to deals involving them. However, the Jazz, under the leadership of the younger Austin Ainge and head coach Hardy, have recently signaled a shift away from tanking and toward competitive growth, which suggests they would be selective about acquisitions, prioritizing players who can help push the franchise back into playoff contention in the challenging Western Conference. The financial implications for Boston in dealing with Utah are critical. While shedding salary is a priority, the Celtics also need to avoid simply dumping contracts for little return. The Jazz's financial flexibility means they can absorb larger contracts if the Celtics package them with assets or draft picks. This dynamic could facilitate multi-team trades or three-team deals, where the Jazz act as a vehicle to help Boston clear salary space while acquiring useful pieces or draft capital in return. For example, one rumored scenario involves trading Jrue Holiday to the Orlando Magic, with the Jazz acting as an intermediary team to make the numbers work, and in return, Boston could acquire Jordan Clarkson and Wendell Carter Jr., players who bring value on the court and have contracts that align with Boston's financial goals. The Celtics front office, traditionally known for cultivating internal talent and promoting from within, now faces a critical challenge as they adjust to the departure of Austin Ainge. He was deeply embedded in the Celtics' scouting, drafting, and overall strategy, and his exit leaves a notable gap in institutional knowledge. Replacing someone so integral to the team's decision-making processes will be no small feat. It may require Boston to look beyond their usual pool of internal candidates, possibly tapping into external expertise to maintain their competitive edge. Beyond the financials and personnel, the strategic dimension of the Celtics-Jazz relationship cannot be overstated. Danny Ainge's reputation as a savvy, sometimes ruthless deal-maker suggests that any trade involving him will be carefully calculated and unlikely to favor Boston without appropriate compensation. Unlike the past, when figures like Kevin McHale facilitated major Celtics acquisitions in their own interest, Ainge has built a front office in Utah that is committed to doing things the right way, balancing competitiveness with sustainability. This makes the prospect of a free gift to Boston highly improbable, but also means that any deals struck are likely to be fair and mutually beneficial. What this all means for Celtics fans is that the offseason promises to be a period of intense maneuvering, with Utah playing a potential key role. The Jazz could become more than just a trading partner. They might serve as a strategic ally in helping Boston manage the constraints of the salary cap while navigating the absence of a superstar like Tatum. Whether through direct player-for-player, trades, multi-team deals, or creative salary dumps, the Celtics will need to engage in shrewd negotiations, leveraging relationships, and timing to maintain their status as Eastern Conference contenders. In terms of players, Celtics supporters should keep a close eye on names like John Collins and Wendell Carter Jr., both of whom bring skill sets that could immediately contribute to the team's goals. Collins offers a blend of scoring, athleticism, and spacing that fits perfectly with Boston's style, especially during a season that may require adaptability and depth. Carter Jr. presents a similar opportunity to add size and defensive presence in the front court, potentially smoothing the transition as the Celtics evolve post-Tatum. Meanwhile, the Jazz's young core, including promising talents like Walker, Kessler, a shot-blocking, rim-protecting 7-footer who is still on his rookie contract, remains largely untouchable. His age, potential, and contract status make him an ideal foundational piece for Utah, one they are unlikely to trade lightly. Though Celtics fans might dream of acquiring a player like Kessler to secure their front court for years to come, the reality is that such a move would require monumental negotiations and likely significant assets in return. Ultimately, this complex web of relationships, finances, and player evaluations sets the stage for a fascinating offseason. The Celtics, while grappling with salary cap constraints and a key star's absence, have a unique opportunity to lean on their historical ties and mutual respect with the Utah Jazz to craft deals that maintain their competitive edge. The Jazz, eager to rebuild and reestablish themselves as contenders in a brutal Western Conference, can use Boston's needs to their advantage, acquiring pieces that align with their long-term vision while providing Boston the breathing room and talent infusion they need. It will take savvy leadership, creative deal-making, and a willingness to explore multifaceted transactions to make the most of this rare synergy between two franchises linked by history and ambition. But before we continue, please remember to subscribe to the channel and give the video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest news about the Boston Celtics. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. The basketball world is abuzz with a potential shakeup in Boston as rumors swirl around Celtics head coach Joe MAZZULLA's future with the team. The latest spark came from none other than NBA legend Larry Bird, who reportedly said, "Coach Joe MAZZULLA no longer has the group." While these words have not been officially confirmed, they've sent shockwaves through both the franchise and its fan base, fueling speculation that MAZZULLA's position may be in jeopardy. According to various sources close to the organization, there's growing concern that MAZZULLA has lost the locker room amid a season filled with high expectations but inconsistent performances. The Celtics, stacked with all-star talent, have struggled at critical moments, leading some insiders to believe that player-coach relationships may be strained. If Larry Bird's alleged comments are accurate, they could reflect broader frustrations within the Celtics' inner circle and possibly signal a call for leadership change. Adding to the intrigue, some analysts point to visible signs of disconnect during recent games. Lackluster defensive efforts, questionable rotations, and moments of apparent disunity on the court. While MAZZULLA has defended his decisions in post-game press conferences, insisting that the team remains committed, these reassurances seem to have done little to quash the rising speculation. Larry Bird, an icon forever linked with Boston's basketball legacy, rarely comments publicly on such internal matters. His purported remark has therefore been interpreted by many as a serious indictment of the current state of affairs. It's worth noting, however, that no official statement has been made by Bird, MAZZULLA, or Celtics ownership, leaving everything in the realm of conjecture and fan theories, at least for now. As the postseason looms and the pressure intensifies, all eyes are on Boston's front office. Will they double down on their trust in MAZZULLA, or could this be the prelude to a dramatic coaching change? For now, it's all whispers, rumors, and uncertainty. But as history shows, where there's smoke in Boston, there's often fire. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Boston Celtics, please subscribe to our channel and give the video a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.